Alright guys, so in today's video we are finally going to be updating the PvP tier list for February 2025 after the update of Awakened Pure Vanilla as well as Black Sapphire cookie. And I think it's a good place for us to go and update it because now we kind of know how the meta is currently. Just keep in mind that this is going to be based on my opinion as well as my experience inside of the Pure Vanilla server. And just like the videos I have posted before, I have reached Grandmaster inside of the Pure Vanilla server right now with the current meta. And I think it's a good place for me to go and share what I found out throughout that journey. And one thing I do want to let you guys know is that I have actually moved down a ton of cookies down a rank and really just made meta as well as the SS as the main cookies that you'll see, and I will explain it a little bit while going over the tier list. Anyways guys, D tier is the same with Sonic all the way to Tiger Lily, C tier from Chili Pepper to Cherry Blossom, as well as we got Milk Cookie all the way down to Red as Mantis for B tier, and then for A tier is going to be pretty much the same from last time except bringing down a lot of different cookies from Candy Apple all the way down to BTS. So I just wanted to quickly go over the A through D tier just because of the fact that these cookies are probably not going to be cookies that you want to use, and the cookies you probably won't not see in the higher ranking, especially like Elite or so above. So keep those things in mind. I have brought down someone like Sherbet. I brought down someone like Blueberry Pie, Caramel Arrow, Linzer, Choco Drizzle. Some of those cookies that I think I placed them a little higher than they should be now, so I have brought all of them down. So now we move on to the S tiers, and these guys are the ones that probably still can be used in some of the comps that you will see in the lower ranks around like the masters and lower elites. But I gotta say, like, while I'm climbing too, a lot of the even higher masters and lower elites are already utilizing like meta comps and stuff like that too. So just keep those things in mind. These guns are very basic replacements nowadays. I call them basic because if you really don't have the ones that we're going to talk about SS and meta, these guys will be my other recommendations as well. So we have from Hollowberry all the way down to our starters now for the Epic Plus rarities. So we have regular Pure Vanilla, regular Golden Cheese, Moonlight, Frost Queen, Black Pearl, and Sea Fairy. So the 4 legendaries here. And then we got some of the super epics here. And honestly, you guys can let me know if we should bring down Camellia and Shining Glitter all the way down to A tier as well. Just for me personally, weakness debuff and stun, as well as the kind of buffs that Shining Glitter has, is a little bit better than someone like Sherbet as well as Capsaicin. So I put them in the S tier, and Stardust, still a pretty decent cookie. Just you probably will not ever see him right now inside of the higher ranking. And then for the epic tanks, we have Wildberry down to Milky Way. So I would still say Financier is the best replacement, just not in the meta anymore. And then we have something like Captain Caviar. We have Rebel down here now. We have Creme Brulee as well as Latte, Pastry. Those are going to be like your damage dealer slash like for Rebel debuffer. Rebel will get up into the ranks once we do see more one-shot comps, but as of right now we don't really have those. And then Latte 2, one-shot comp, Creme Brulee, Pastry are just straight up raw damage if you guys really don't have anything. And then we have the supports as well as healers from Rockstar down to Parface. Alright, now moving on to the SS tiers. So SS tiers are going to be the cookies that you will sometimes see or are going to be used as replacements for some of the meta cookies that you might not have or might have not built. Alright, so now we have Awakened Dark Cacao and Mystic Flower. So these two have fallen from the quote-unquote meta tier. So we have now brought up Stormbringer up here. If you guys didn't watch my video from earlier on this morning, then you guys might or might not know that Stormbringer was used and is still kind of being used here and there as well for certain players. But not going to be meta tier. And then we still have White Lily. I put White Lily in here because White Lily is still one of the better DPSs. If you don't have someone like Shadow Milk, Wind Archer, Awakened Golden Cheese, Burning Spice, you still can use White Lily as your main damage dealer. Just know she's not going to perform as well as she used to, or going to perform as well as some of the cookies that we have currently in the meta. And then we have the epic tanks. So we have Burnt Cheese, Green Tea Mousse, as well as Fettuccine. The 3 taunt cookies, as well as the cookies that are still able to be used in place of something like Elderberry if you need to, in place of someone like Crimson Coral if need. So just keep that in mind. And then we have the 3 specials. So the 3 specials have been kind of in and out of the meta right now, especially Cream Ferret was really good. And then once Shadow Milk came out, Cream Ferret went down. I see a lot more Icicle Yeti than Snapdragon, but definitely not part of the meta, so I have put them in the SS tier. But if I had to, maybe Icicle Yeti could be in the meta, but that's about what I have for the SS tier. And now moving on to the meta tier is going to be from Crimson Coral all the way to our Golden Cheese Awaken. And then of course we can add in our Pure Vanilla Awaken in here as well. These are mainly the cookies that you will definitely see. So the couple teams that we have right now inside of the arena are going to be Crimson Coral 110 comp, we have Elder Fairy 110 comp, we have the Elder Fairy Burning Spice 212 comps, we have sometimes 221 comps here and there. But those are the main comps that you will definitely see currently right now. But you definitely are going to be seeing Awaken Pure Vanilla 100%. You will see Shadow Milk 100%, and then the other cookies are kind of interchangeable right now depending on what team you're using as well as what team you're versing. Especially if you're in the higher ranking, then that's going to really determine what kind of team you want to use. But right now these cookies will make up 98% of all the teams in the top ranking currently inside of the arena. So that's why I put them as meta, and then the rest of them are going to be like your replacement SS tiers of these cookies, and then the S tiers are going to be like your, you know, still very decently viable cookies that you can use, and then rest you probably don't want to use. And then we could actually put in the new cookies, and that's going to be Black Sapphire as well as Queen of Man and Sparkling Cookie Magic Candy. So for Black Sapphire, same thing, A tier for me, very similar to like what we have for Prune Juice as well as Candy Apple. Can be used if you really choose to, but you probably will not see much damage at all for this particular cookie. And then for Sparkling, I am actually going to be putting Sparkling 2 at around, like, I want to say B or A tier. For me, I'll just put it at A tier for now. The healing and the buffs are actually decent, but again, you're just probably not going to see Sparkling used inside of the arena. Even if you guys do level up the Magic Candy, probably not really worth it. But currently right now, the one in testing, and it seems to be working a little bit as a Joker card for some players, is Queen of Man Magic Candy. So technically, Queen of Man Magic Candy will be in about S tier, but for certain players right now inside of the top ranks, they're actually finding ways to utilize Queen of Man inside of a team to counter some of those like 2-1-2 comps that I've talked about before. Is it 100% viable? Not really. It's very situational. It's very iffy comp. It's a fun comp to use, but it is not recommended for everybody. It's just recommended for those people who have a lot of resources and just want to test out and have a little bit of fun. So right now I just put Queen of Man at an S tier. Pretty much that's kind of like where she would be. Still does relatively good damage, and if she is able to survive and you know, continue to slash at the enemies, then she still can be pretty strong. So I want to put her at S tier. But again, just keep in mind there are certain comps right now inside of the top ranks with Magic Candy level 30 that people are kind of using and finding out that she's viable, but again, they don't recommend it as like a stable meta comp either. But that is pretty much what we have for the February 2025 tier list with Awaken Pure Vanilla Cookie. So I've changed a lot of different things. So hopefully this tier list is a little bit more organized than before. I have, again, brought down a lot of cookies that you probably just will not see, and brought down all the cookies that, you know, are just really replacements or just decent to use nowadays, but just really focus on these two tiers if you guys want to climb the arena. But thanks for watching, guys. If you guys have anything, if you guys have any questions, please leave it down in the comments below. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video.